Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, it's Ag in the Courtroom with Dr. Roger McEowen from the Washburn School of Law. He will actually be joining us in studio. First time in over a year we've had an in-studio guest. And we'll also have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, and our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association and market information from Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom. Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com. In agricultural news from agview.net, a new report out from the Government Accountability Office states the number of people showing signs of anxiety or depression rose from 11% in 2019 to 38% in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Over two-thirds of mental health care providers say demand for services has increased and has had to cancel or reschedule patient appointments or even turn them away. Access to treatment is limited because there are not enough behavioral health specialists, especially in rural areas, the report said. Well, then the American Farm Bureau launching an online directory of resources for producers who are experiencing stress and mental health challenges. They recognize May as Mental Health Month. And also, it is May. That means Governor Laura Kelly has recognized the contributions of farmers and ranchers and feeders make to the state's economy as she has declared May Beef Month in Kansas. KLA and the Kansas Beef Council will make Kansas residents aware of the hard work producers put in each day to provide high-quality beef to consumers within the state and around the world. Members of KLA taking over the association's Facebook page on various days throughout the month to give folks a glimpse into the life on the ranch, in a feed yard, even at the auction market. The KLA and the Kansas Beef Council staff also will be distributing information about positive impacts of the Kansas beef industry, what it has on the environment, local communities, and the state's economy. Some of the facts that will be highlighted include how the state ranks nationally in various cattle and beef production categories, as well as how cattle upcycle plant forage into human edible protein and how beef fits into a healthy diet. Members also are encouraged to share these messages to help reach as many people as possible. More news at agview.net. Stay with us. More in a moment. The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. And agview.net, serving the Beef Belt and Western Corn Belt with reliable and relevant agriculture information. agview.net.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
And joining us this week in studio for the first time in quite a while, Dr. Roger McEowen, who is an ag law and tax professor at the Washburn School of Law. Good to finally see you close to close here.
Yeah, good to be with you, Ken.
All right, so the issue we're going to talk about is one that I think we could probably talk about every month, and that is, and I guess it's even timely this time of the year. We're spending an awful lot of time working on those fences, maybe building new fences, but just because that old fence is where it is doesn't necessarily mean that is the true property line.
Well, that's true. It might be, but it may not be. And that does create a lot of issues. And I always kind of hesitate talking about this topic publicly because it generates so many questions for me. It's just, I end up digging out for a week after I talk about it because of all the questions that come up. But often in agriculture, we'll buy a farm and there are old fences on it that have been there for decades or even a century. I had a situation come up about 2 months ago where it was a fence that was built in the 1880s and there were still remnants of it there, but it didn't correspond to a survey, and that's what creates the issues in a lot of these situations. So the question is, what controls?
Has it changed over the years? Because, a lot of times we're able to make those transactions with a handshake, talk to the neighbor, everybody was okay, but with all the technology, is that, and maybe as generations change and become more savvy, is that when it becomes, you have to utilize some of those tools?
Well, there's a piece to that that's important, and it goes to the usage issue of the fences. The usage of a fence may have been treated as the partition or the boundary between a couple of properties for a long time. And subsequent owners just continue to treat that existing old fence as the boundary, but then somebody has it surveyed. They use some new technology, GPS, whatever it might be, and lo and behold, that fence is not on the survey legal, so put it in quotes, boundary. So then what do? And what a lot of people don't realize in ag is that more often than not, the usage of property, usage of a line, whether that's a fence or whether you and I are adjoining property owners and I farm up to a point and you farm up to a point and we kind of treat that as the line. Usage, more often than a survey, actually defines the legal boundary. And so if that's the case and it's different than what the survey says, we can have corrective deeds filed and establish that old fence as the legal boundary. And a lot of people don't realize that.
So really, if you've been, say your family's farmed it for a couple generations and there may be off, it may end up being a few feet that could be several acres, if you come to an agreement, that would meet muster?
Yeah, you can come to an agreement and then we can have corrective deeds issued at the courthouse, and that gets the land records changed. We could enter into a memo of understanding between us. We can file that on the land records. Some courts, not so much in Kansas, but other states, kind of an equitable title action can be filed to straighten things out. The disfavored approach is, of course, pacing and dueling at 20 yards. We don't recommend that approach anymore, but that is an approach you look back in history, and that was utilized to settle fence disputes.
Sure. All right. Dr. Roger McEowen, who is a tax professor and is a presenter at the Washburn School of Law, ag law specialist, of course. Stay with us. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
And our guest is Dr. Roger McEowen from the Washburn School of Law, and we're talking fence kind of law, fence challenges, and let's talk about now. A lot of folks have small acreages out in the country. Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between, say, you as a rural landowner, but maybe aren't in active production agriculture? Is there a difference when we look at those type fences?
Well, I think probably the big difference there is if I'm not producing crops or I'm not raising livestock, I may wonder why do I have to contribute toward my neighbor who is a farmer in building or maintaining that fence that's on the boundary line between he and I. It's he needs the fence to keep his livestock in. I don't need the fence. Well, you kind of do. You need a fence to keep the animals out, but this is a fence in jurisdiction. So that creates confusion. And the rule on that in Kansas is if there are common uses, same uses on both sides of a boundary fence, a partition line, then the one that has the livestock has to bear the cost of fixing that fence. But if the usage is not the same, one party has livestock, the other party has crops, or is a rural landowner that's not raising anything, then that's not common usage. It's not use in common, as the state attorney general has defined that phrase. And each party on both sides of the fence bears an equal responsibility in building and maintaining that fence. And that upsets some people that don't raise livestock. They think, I'm not responsible for it. Well, you are. In the state of Kansas, the rules are pretty favorable to the livestock industry.
So if they come to some sort of an agreement, it would be, in a sense, a dollar for dollar cost share then for that fence, because I would guess that some may want to use hedge posts, they want to use creosote posts, some may want a 3-wire, 4-wire, some may even want just the basics.
Or maybe I've got clear pasture on if we decide to adopt the right-hand rule and I fix what's to my right and you fix what's to your right as we face each other. Maybe I've got clear pasture and I gave you rocks and trees and water to help yourself. I'll fix my half. The statute says equal share of the total cost. So we can come to whatever agreement we can come to. If we can't come to an agreement, then the procedure in Kansas is that we need to call the fence viewers, and that's our county commissioners.
Have we had a lot of this decided by the courts, or typically can it be done by county officials or surveyors, some of those, before we get to in a sense, spending a lot of money trying to defend our position?
Well, there's a lot of juicy court cases involving fence law in Kansas. So, fences create bad neighbors if there are disputes, and they end up pretty heated disputes, and we end up in court on those. But that's not to say that you can't come to an agreement, and if you do, you can have that recorded on the land records, and it'll bind you and all the successor owners to that tract too. And that's the approach we suggest, but it doesn't always work out that way.
All right, Dr. McCullen, folks, I know you've written about this extensively, so how can folks get more of your past articles and other things to learn more? I know you have a blog.
Yeah, I have a blog. It's accessible through my website. That's washburnlaw.edu/Walter, W-A-L-T-R. You can access the blog from there. You can also access my articles page on the website, and I have the Kansas Fence Law publication that I keep updated on my articles page. But recent blog articles on this too.
Okay, very good. Well, it's great to see you in person now.
Yeah.
Let's look forward to doing this again.
Good, thank you.
All right, Dr. Roger McEowen from the Washburn School of Law has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Premier Farm & Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm & Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Hi, I'm Emily Cope with Kansas Corn, and I'm here to give an update on this past summer's project to increase ethanol availability across the state of Kansas. Kansas Corn worked with a variety of different retailers through the USDA program HBIP, which is the Higher Blends Infrastructure Incentive Program. And this provided dollars for station owners to install blender pumps or switch over to offering E15 across the state. We were excited to have 12 total stations during the first round that occurred during the summer to receive funding to add E15 as well as E85 to their different stations. Kansas Corn assisted 5 individual stations with their applications, and we assisted 9 of those retailers providing additional matching dollars. It opened up again this fall due to some extra dollars remaining, and we had 3 additional stations that also were able to sign up and receive funding. So looking around the state of Kansas, look for new stations coming near you offering higher blends such as E15 and E85.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Premier Farm & Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm & Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Each harvest, Wade Bangerter scoops wheat by the bucketful out of the combine and saves it back to clean, prepare, and eat for the year to come. Bangerter is a third-generation farmer who grows dryland wheat, corn, and milo in Wichita, Wallace, and Logan counties. After farming for nearly 40 years, he noticed the trend of consumers eating fewer wheat foods, but didn't give it much thought until his own family started debating the health attributes of wheat. Using the wheat cleaned and stored from his fields, Bangerter prepares the wheat berries with 3 cups of water for each cup of wheat and boils them for an hour. He mixes in some honey and cinnamon as a side dish, puts them in soups and salads, and substitutes wheat berries for rice. In addition to being a great ingredient, wheat berries include all the benefits of whole wheat foods, including improved heart and bone health, preventing anemia, promoting blood sugar control, and meeting daily fiber and iron requirements. After finding wheat berries were not only delicious, but also easy to include in family meals, Bangerter is trying to see if what he's doing in the field results in a difference in taste. Microbial activity is now his focus of soil management. He implements no-till practices and top dresses with fertilizers that benefit what's growing above and beneath the soil surface. His next goal is to start a farm-to-table internet business to get his nutritious wheat berries to consumers.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
There's so many people that come here across the state, being able to meet all sorts of people from seeing what their different backgrounds and the things that they grow and the workshops that they have here to kind of see what other people are thinking and people in their expertise, you know, that you can take back home and maybe implement or at least investigate more if it's something you want to do.
Registration is open for the first Cowboys for Conservation trail ride near Eureka. Allison Land and Cattle, which is owned by Kevin and Carrie Allison, is sponsoring and hosting the June 19th event. The trail ride will benefit the Ranchland Trust of Kansas, which was founded by the Kansas Livestock Association in 2003 and has the mission of preserving Kansas's ranching heritage and open spaces for future generations through conservation of working landscapes. All riders are welcome to bring their own horse to this fun and interactive trail ride. During the ride, attendees will break into groups and hear presentations from Natural Resources Conservation Service District Conservationist Luke Westerman, NRCS District Wildlife Biologist Vicki Sikanek, and Grazing Management Expert Dale Kirkham. The 3-hour trail ride through the Flint Hills is for adult riders 18 years of age and older. Lunch will be provided for attendees. The registration fee for the Cowboys for Conservation trail ride is $99, which is considered a tax-deductible donation to the Ranchland Trust of Kansas. Further details about the ride and a link to register can be found under the Events and News tab on ranchlandtrustofkansas.org.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
We're really trying to engage young people across the state and unify them and give them a unified voice. Because as you know, it's hard to get off that farm sometimes. So this gives them an opportunity to get off the farm, have that education piece, have that networking piece. They can learn about what's going on in the political system right now. And it's just, quite frankly, it's fun. It's a great way for us to get involved and an opportunity for them to get involved in Kansas Farm Bureau.
Good day. This is Derek Hermish with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom, taking a look at this week's market. Life is full of changes. Sometimes the change is so slow you don't even notice it until one day you wake up and realize things are different than what they were months or years ago. Other changes are so fast you can feel the sting from them as they slap you in the face. A market like what we saw this last week would fit in the latter category. With big changes, there can be big opportunities. You need to weigh the risk that comes along with those opportunities and consider what changes you yourself will have to make to take advantage of them in a responsible manner. Rare is the case where change just falls into your lap, requiring no adjustments from you to take advantage of it. It is possible, but more likely that you will be required to make some adjustments or adaptations to your existing way of doing business to fully maximize the opportunity presented. In either case, it is best to do your homework and consult with some peers and/or professionals before to see what is best for you. When it comes to these markets, it is certainly worth talking it over with someone. If you would like to do that, give us a ring at 888-452-8751. I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Well, that's our show this week. Be social with us online at kansasagreport.net or on our social media channel. It is Mother's Day weekend. We want to just take a time and pause, thank our mothers and our sisters and our grandmothers for the influence they've had on our lives. Many of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Are you looking for Medicare Supplement insurance plans? Now is a good time to look at your options with Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. A Medicare Supplement insurance plan can help cover certain out-of-pocket expenses Medicare doesn't cover. Things like deductibles, co-insurance, and certain limitations that can be costly in the event of an accident or illness. With Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans, you have options to Medicare Supplement insurance plans with 4 levels of affordable coverage and service from an organization known for its commitment serving Kansans. We encourage you to compare our rates. For more information and to get a quote, contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you or visit kfbhealthplans.com. Medicare Supplements insured by Members Health Insurance Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Not connected with or endorsed by the U.S. or state government.